Imagine driving for 100 days straight. No charging stations, no fuel stops, no solar panels, just pure, uninterrupted power. Now, picture this. Not in Silicon Valley, not in Germany, but in Africa, where a new kind of car technology has stunned even the world's most visionary engineer, Elon Musk. This isn't a concept. It's not a simulation. It's real, it's running, and it's rewriting the future of mobility. Welcome to a story that's shaking the entire EV industry. 100 days, zero charging. Africa's new car tech shocks Elon Musk. It started quietly in a small workshop, far from the industrial giants of the West. A team of African engineers unveiled a prototype that defied the very foundation of electric vehicle design. A self-powered car that could generate and recycle its own energy continuously. At first, experts laughed. Impossible, they said. How can a car power itself without external input? But then testing began. Day 1 turned into day 10. Day 10 became day 50. And by the time they hit day 100, even the skeptics fell silent. The car's secret lies in what they call a closed-loop energy regeneration system, an innovation that merges magnetic induction, kinetic recovery, and advanced nano-battery architecture. It's as if every rotation of the wheel breathes new life into the car, a moving ecosystem of power, self-sustaining, self-managing, and astonishingly efficient. When Tesla's engineers caught wind of the design, internal reports described it as a theoretical breakthrough brought to life. Even Elon Musk, known for his unshakable confidence, was reportedly stunned. At the center of this revolution stands Maxwell Chikumbutso, a name already whispered in tech circles for his past energy inventions. His vision wasn't just to create another EV, but to eliminate dependency on the grid altogether. If Africa can power a car, it can power its own future. It's about a new paradigm of power, one that could redefine transportation, economics, and even geopolitics. After 100 days of nonstop operation, independent reviewers confirmed no external charging, no fuel input, no hidden power source. Every kilometer driven was powered by the vehicle's own regenerative system. The footage went viral. Tech influencers called it the end of charging culture. News outlets questioned, if this is true, what happens to Tesla's supercharger network? Elon Musk himself didn't issue a direct comment, but Tesla's R&D reportedly fast-tracked a new magnetodynamic drive concept, eerily similar to the African model system. The implications are enormous. Imagine cities without charging stations, road trips without refueling stops, vehicles that feed themselves energy as they move forever. And for Africa, this breakthrough is more than just a triumph of technology. It's a statement that innovation no longer belongs to the few, but to the bold. In a continent often written off by the global tech elite, this invention stands as living proof. The next industrial revolution might not begin in California. It might begin in Africa. So as the world watches this self-powered car defy everything we thought we knew about energy, one question remains. Is this the dawn of limitless mobility, or the beginning of a global energy reset? Only time in Africa will tell. In Tokyo, engineers at Nissan and Toyota called emergency innovation meetings. In Munich, BMW's R&D board reportedly requested access to the African prototypes data. And in Silicon Valley, Tesla's analytics division began tracking the car's energy metrics, frame by frame. For decades, the West had viewed Africa as a consumer market, not a creator. But now, the narrative was changing rapidly. A new voice had emerged, and it wasn't echoing from corporate labs or tech giants. It was rising from the ground, from innovators who believed power should belong to everyone. Whispers began circulating. A few insiders claimed that a major American EV company discreetly offered to buy the African patent for a staggering $400 million. The offer, however, was declined because this invention was never meant to be monopolized. According to sources close to the project, the team envisions open-source energy systems, accessible and adaptable for communities across Africa. Imagine rural villages running clean transport fleets without fuel imports. Imagine entire cities powered by the same self-sustaining principle. This wasn't just about a car anymore. It was about energy independence. For weeks, silence. No tweets. No statements. Nothing. Until one evening, during a live panel at the World Future Tech Summit, Musk was asked directly about Africa's self-powered car. He paused, smiled slightly, and said, "If it's real, it changes everything. And I hope it's real." Those words sent shockwaves through the media. Some saw it as acknowledgement, others as a challenge. But behind the scenes, sources say Tesla quietly began testing an internal prototype integrating a resonant kinetic recovery module, a system eerily similar to the African concept. To prove consistency, the African team began a continental test drive. From Johannesburg to Cairo, thousands of kilometers of desert, heat, and rugged terrain. Through storms, dust, and blazing temperatures, the car continued, uncharged, unstoppable. Independent observers from international energy councils confirmed data logs. The car maintained its performance without degradation, defying every expectation of existing battery technology. It wasn't just endurance. It was evolution in motion. Behind the curtains, governments began taking notice. Reports surfaced that Nigeria, South Africa, and Kenya were in early discussions to establish self-powered mobility hubs, centers where the technology could be localized and scaled for commercial fleets. China, too, entered the picture. State-funded research bodies proposed collaboration, offering advanced manufacturing facilities to mass-produce the system under joint African patents. For the first time in history, Africa wasn't being licensed by global powers. It was licensing them. The ripple effect went beyond engineering. Oil markets began to react. Speculation rose that if such self-powered transport reached mass scale, global demand for crude oil could drop by up to 30% within a decade. Energy investors, once dismissive of African technology, began buying stakes in renewable startups across the continent. In boardrooms and ministries, one question began circulating. Is Africa about to lead the next energy revolution? 100 days proved the car could run. But the next 100 could prove something far greater, that an idea born in Africa might just power the world. In the words of one of the lead engineers, we're not chasing Tesla. We're chasing the future. And perhaps, for the first time ever, the future is chasing back. The age of the plug might be ending, and the age of perpetual motion might just be beginning right here on African soil. We'll pick up right where it stopped, after the narrator said, "This story is far from over." The silence following the revelation didn't last long. Within weeks, whispers began to circulate across major tech and automotive networks. Documents leaked, internal memos, encrypted emails, even lab correspondences, all pointing toward one shocking reality. Several Western corporations were now actively trying to replicate the African prototype. Some called it research. Others called it theft. Global powers began pressuring African governments to cooperate under the pretense of partnership. Private jets landed unannounced. Proposals came disguised as investment opportunities. But behind every handshake was a hidden contract, one that demanded exclusive rights over the very engine that could free the world from dependency. Meanwhile, on social media, the public divided sharply. Some hailed the self-powered car as humanity's next step, a breakthrough that could end climate change and energy poverty. Others called it a hoax, fueled by skepticism and propaganda from threatened oil and automotive lobbies. Influencers debated, experts argued, but quietly, nations began to prepare for disruption. In the background, Tesla's analysts continued to monitor every frame of the African test runs. Elon Musk himself had reportedly requested real-time updates on the data being shared through open forums. Some insiders whispered that Musk admired the innovation. Others believed he was planning a counter-design, something that would merge Tesla's AI systems with a self-regenerating power unit. Then, unexpectedly, the African team made their boldest move yet. They announced an open global demonstration, to be held in Nairobi, a live event where the car would be driven nonstop for 7 days before the world's cameras, under full observation by international scientists and media outlets. The announcement sent shockwaves through the energy world. Every major tech company, from Apple's emerging EV division to Volkswagen's innovation wing, scrambled to secure a presence. But as the countdown began, something unusual happened. A series of unexplained cyber attacks hit the project's digital systems. GPS interference, corrupted telemetry data, and a strange signal disruption affecting the car's regenerative circuits. Some believed it was coincidence. The team knew better. Someone, somewhere, didn't want the world to witness the truth. Security drones detected a low-frequency electromagnetic pulse, pulsing from a nearby building. The team immediately initiated lockdown protocols, cutting all external communications and shielding the car system. But the damage was done. The car slowed, lights flickering, as if struggling against an invisible hand. The crowd gasped. Commentators went silent. For a moment, it looked as if the demonstration had been sabotaged. But then, something extraordinary happened. The engine stabilized itself, recalibrating automatically. The hum deepened into a steady rhythm. The power restored. The car surged forward again, faster than before. The engineers stared in disbelief. Whatever had been unleashed against them, the system had learned to defend itself. The AI integration, still in early development, had adapted in real time. That was the moment the world realized this wasn't just an engine. It was a living energy organism. News of the attempted sabotage broke out within hours. International outrage followed. Protests erupted in several cities, demanding transparency from global corporations accused of suppressing revolutionary technologies. For the first time, public sentiment shifted dramatically toward Africa's innovators. And in the shadows of all that chaos, an encrypted message appeared on the lead engineer's private server. No sender, no trace. Just a few words glowing on the screen. They know what you've built. They're coming for it. Prepare for Phase 2. He stared at it for a long time, the words burning into his mind. Phase 2? Who sent it? How did they know? Outside, the car continued to circle the track under the night sky. Silent, glowing, unstoppable, as if it already knew what was coming next. Inside the control tent, the lead engineer stood over the terminal, staring at the encrypted message again. The phrase, "Prepare for Phase 2, pulsed on the screen like a heartbeat. Nobody on the team had sent it. At least, not anyone they knew. The digital signature was unfamiliar, its encryption layers beyond anything their systems could decode. Whoever sent it had access to tools far beyond civilian technology. That night, the team gathered in the conference cabin. Maps and data projections glowed across the table. "We need to relocate the prototype," one of the younger engineers said, voice trembling slightly. "If they know where we are, it's only a matter of time." The lead engineer nodded slowly. "We can't hide it anymore," he said. "But maybe we can spread it." He pulled up a schematic, a blueprint of a decentralized energy grid, powered by self-replicating microreactors based on the same regenerative principle as the car. The design showed small, modular cells capable of generating power independently, each able to copy its own architecture and transmit the code to another unit. "If they want to silence one machine," he continued, "then we'll give the world 1,000. The authorities tried to control the narrative, calling it a malfunction. But leaked footage told a different story. A car accelerating freely under its own power, escaping capture. Within hours, millions had seen it. The world watched in stunned silence as headlines erupted again. Somewhere out there, in hidden workshops and remote labs, copies of the self-powered system were already coming online. Africa's most guarded invention was no longer a secret. It had become a contagion of innovation. And far away, across the ocean in California, Elon Musk sat in a dark conference room, watching the viral footage on a silent screen. His advisors whispered nervously around him, but Musk said nothing. He just leaned forward, eyes locked on the image of the runaway car, and muttered under his breath. Musk's Helio system, though advanced, depended on expensive materials and global supply chains. Africa's model was simple, scalable, and self-replicating. The world watched in awe as fleets of these vehicles began operating across the continent. Ambulances, delivery vans, even small buses, none of them ever needing a drop of fuel or a minute of charging time. Oil prices collapsed. Charging station projects were abandoned. Energy conglomerates began losing trillions. But while the old world was crumbling, a new one was being born, an energy democracy led by those who had once been excluded from the race. At the African Union Summit the following year, the lead engineer took the stage. Cameras from every major news outlet focused on him. He looked calm, older now, but with a quiet fire in his eyes. For a century, we were told to wait for progress to reach us, he said. But we stopped waiting. This car is more than a machine. It's proof that power, once freed, belongs to everyone. In California, Elon Musk watched the broadcast from his office window. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, with a faint smile, he murmured, "They did it." He knew the competition was over. Humanity had crossed the line between dependence and freedom. From that day on, the world entered a new era, an era where energy was infinite, clean, and borderless. Roads hummed with quiet machines that never stopped. Villages lit up without power plants. And for the first time in history, innovation no longer flowed from the top down. It flowed from everywhere, together. The story of the self-powered car wasn't just about technology. It was about the moment the world realized that the future no longer needed permission. And somewhere on a quiet highway in Africa, the first prototype, the car that started it all, still drove on, humming softly beneath the endless sky, carried with it a dream that changed the world forever.